everybody, Steve at Martin's Custom Baits. So here's our follow-up and recap video from Oneida relating to the Nomadic XT Finesse Jig. That was basically the main bait for me that whole trip. I did mix in a few other things, and there was a little bit of other bite, but pretty much the one that stole the show was the Nomadic XT, and that was primarily because that lake at the time just happened to have a good mixture of sporadic grass and rock, and different types of grass and rock. Everything from your shallow depths to, out to like 10 feet or more here and there. So the big thing with that Nomadic XT is here I have tied up the 7/16 ounce right here in the green pumpkin duo color. This was pretty much my go-to a lot of times when we were out a little bit deeper, and then I also mixed in the 5/16 a lot when we were shallow. But the big thing with that jig is that head design really helps you get through cover, especially when you have a little bit of that grass mixed in with the rock versus throwing a ball head style or a football style jig. So that's why I really found this to be super effective. So you can see up close there. That's why we have the shape of the head made the way it is for the Nomadic XT. Also, that bigger weed guard on there was perfect for just pitching through and dragging through the grass and whatnot. So even at certain points, I would pitch in the holes that were a little larger in some of the grass where it wasn't super thick. And getting bit in there was not a problem, but getting through cleanly was not an issue either. So that's a really big thing with this vertical line tie on that 60-degree hook that's built into this Nomadic XT, and the head shape is ideal for that. So whether you're casting, hopping, pitching, dragging this thing, it really does do it all, and that's what we got to showcase on Oneida, which was fantastic. So 5/16 and 7/16 ounce sizes I used very, very frequently while we were up there. Unfortunately, I did not have the camera really running on day one, because we were so excited to be there. We just decided to lean into them and have at it. Jonathan was kind enough to want me to come up there with him and have a little bit of a fun few days of fishing, which is great because he's awesome on that lake. So, going back to the Nomadic XT's design, one of the big things too, and I haven't really talked about this much, but if you're one of the type of people that want to use this for literally everything, and if you're going to be skipping maybe docks or some shallow stuff too, one of the little sneaky things I'll do, here's the 5/16. I don't have this cut, but what I would typically do is where that buzz cut skirt lays underneath the head, is I would just cut that flat off with a pair of scissors right there too. That's just a little trick of the trade, I guess. So if you wanted to skip, you would get no interference with that underneath the head. And the head shape on this is great for skipping as well. The main deal for me, especially in the summertime, for a jig trailer on this is just a 3. Actually, let me pull this off. This thing has seen a lot of action. I was using a 3-inch Rage Bug. I just nipped about a 1/4 inch off the top, so it would be about 2 3/4 long. I pulled the little side appendages off the top, but I love that trailer on this jig because it's nice and flat, so you can hop, drag, skip, whatever with this. It's just a really versatile trailer. You get good action out of the claws at the end here, and it's a good warm water trailer for me with this jig. That hook is fantastic. That's an Owner. It's actually called their deep throat hook, believe it or not. And it's in the 4.0 size in both the 5/16 and 7/16. It just gets the fish really, really good. What I love is it's different than an EWG. So it's not an EWG style. What they did is, instead of like with a typical EWG, you would have a wider gap out at the top here. Well, what Owner did with this is they made that down at the bottom. So you really have almost a traditional round bend, but with a little kick out at the bottom of the hook. And it gets the fish really nicely. Really didn't lose any fish. I had a lot of success with it. Super sharp. It's just a good hook. And whether you have a flat trailer or a really meaty trailer on there, you have plenty of gap in there for your hookups. You're not going to have any interference. But this was the deal for me on Oneida this year. Usually our mini football jigs do really well there, but there was more grass than usual. So the Nomadic XT was definitely the deal. I absolutely loved this. This has been the jig of the year for me, really personally. I've had a few people tell me that, but and it's just something you can throw everywhere. It's great for all that, you know, summer type of fishing, even springtime stuff too. A little bit more behind the design here. So what we did when making the Nomadic XT is we took a traditional finesse jig style, right, which is your buzz cut skirt, and you've got a standard size weed guard on there, which is nice. It blocks up a little more stuff, but we wanted to use a different hook. We definitely wanted to have a different shape head than a standard round ball jig. A lot of times you see these type of finesse jigs on a ball head. Some people love them, some people hate them, but a ball head would typically just hit the bottom and flop right over. So this has a little bit more purpose to it, where you can actually keep in contact with the bottom, you know, drag your bait along, have it upright. You actually, on the 60-degree hook too, when you're dragging this jig along, you're going to have your bait be more in like a defensive style position once it's dragging. So you'll be kind of up a little higher like that. I should have probably shown you with the one that has a trailer still rigged on it, but that was a big key with the design on the Nomadic XT. Going into the skirt on these two, because I do have people that ask, and it's not just a single banded skirt that's cut down. So what happens is when these skirts on here, you can see it looks like just a black rubber band, but it's actually not. Behind that skirt is a solid silicone core. It's just a black rigid silicone core, and each strand gets glued individually to that core, and then there's a black band that gets stretched over that core that locks it in with the glue. So this is because when you actually feed that skirt on, you don't want it to just split and separate and have your colors slide all around on you. So it's actually a really strong way of making a good skirt on these, and color placement wise, it's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, that's the Nomadic XT. Great finesse jig. It's the sister to the original Nomadic Finesse Jig. We're actually expanding the Nomadic series again. There's a new one coming out soon, but we're going to do a separate video on that. So like I said, the Nomadic XT Finesse Jig, awesome. Whether you want to skip, drag, pitch, it's just good to have on deck because you're going to be able to apply it at almost anything. And your trailers are endless. You can use everything from a swim bait, flat creature style trailer, you name it, a pack of chunks, things like that. Those are just some of the ones I like to use. But hope you all enjoyed, and let us know in the comments if you have any other questions or you want to know anything else about it. But hands down, jig of the year for us. We've sold a ton of these. It's my personal favorite right now, and get your hands on them if you haven't tried them. I promise you're going to love them. It's just a different look to a traditional buzz cut finesse jig. And I promise you're going to catch more fish, and you're going to be a hell of a lot more versatile with this jig. So thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed.